And to answer the tribunal of middle grade readers, will there indeed be a Coo-2 or a cuckoo or whatever you call it?
I don't. It's definitely not on the agenda at the moment, but I'm waiting. Sometimes I get a little idea and I write it down. But the second book is another standalone.
You don't wonder about what happens to Coo afterward? Or are you pretty well resolved in your head that you ended things where they should have been?
Well, the kind of questions that I was trying to address with Coo as a book, I feel like were pretty neatly summed up in the book itself in terms of what it's like to be a real outsider to the human world, what it's like, what things with animal communication and that sense of adjustment, or Coo's unusual perspective on the way that life works right now in our society. I feel like that, I don't think it would be interesting to go back to those questions again for a sequel. So I don't have any kind of, right now, I'm not sure what the sequel would exactly be. And I kind of, when I finished it, it definitely felt finished to me, but I never say never. So it may happen.
Everything I ever write has a sequel. They're just the sequels I write and the sequels I never get to.
Yeah, sequels, exactly.
So something you said that struck me as curious. What you had started this with a boy, but then you decided that no. So how did you decide that Coo should be a girl, should be 10? Why is that the ideal person story?
I feel like with Coo being a girl, it was more my own experience as a girl really led me to be more interested in that, or feel more confident about my abilities to write that character as a girl, just because of my own experience. I would like to write a boy character in the future, but Coo just seemed intuitively it should be a girl. So I changed that after a day or two. I also feel like a lot of adventure books, now it's significantly changed, but when I was a child, a lot of the books where kids went on adventures or showed a lot of bravery were usually boy characters, and it was less common back when I was reading for the focus to be on a girl. Now that's changed a lot, but it definitely made me feel like I wanted to show her as going on this kind of adventure, what it was like as a girl. I also, I picked the age 10 because I felt like 10 is an age when a lot of kids begin to understand themselves as individuals and start to explore their own agency and their ability to choose a different way of thinking or being than their family. And I remember that was the age when I first felt a lot of loneliness when I was at school, and the sense that I didn't really have a friend group when I was about 10 to 11 to 12, and I didn't really have close friends who were at school. And it was a real period where I had to navigate that. And I feel like Coo also starts to feel really different from the flock and her life on the roof. She starts to wonder what else is out there. And then she has to go explore it. And at the same time, I also feel like when I was 10 and 11, I had a less cynical view of the world than I got when I was a little older. And it was easier to feel an uncomplicated loyalty and a lot of passion to fix things and make them right. I had a very clear sense of justice when I was that age. And I think a lot of other kids have it too. And then you get a little older, 12, 13, things start to be more complicated. And you start to understand more of the nuance to situations. And I think I really wanted that sense that Coo has this kind of very direct sense of what's right as she goes through the world, and a clarity. And I wanted to be able to explore that.
I think that might be one of the reasons that I'm circling back to write middle grade again and again, is because my years as 10 and 11 were relatively pretty fantastic. I knew everything about the world. I've never been so confident in my views as when I was 11. Let me sit down and I'll tell you how the world works, and it's all just and good, and don't worry about it. And then it was in adolescence when I had a couple of friends move away. I found myself a little bit lonely at school. We did a unit on the Holocaust, and I said, "Wait a minute, that's also possible." Hold on, this challenges what I thought about the world, and so that's why I tend to stay away from the older ages. And I like to remember, oh yeah, 10, 11, you had it all figured out. Go back and get that surety.
Yeah.